This is the MandaLOREians, the Explosion After Show, breaking down, discussing, and reviewing each and every episode of the Disney Plus original Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to talk about this first episode of Rangers of the New Republic.
We don't talk about this show. It's dead. It never happened. It was never announced. It was never going to be a thing. No one ever heard about it.
No, they were clearly building a show around, what's his name? And that's what this episode turned into, because they didn't
Captain
have that
Carson?
show to...
Tiva?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is chapter 21. Wow.
Yep.
Saying that out loud, I was like, what the fuck? That's actually... chapter 21, The Pirate, directed by Peter Ramsey, of course, written by Jon Favreau. Synopsis was, the people of Nevarro need protection from rampant pirate attacks. What did you make of this week's episode?
I mean, again, it was a solid episode. Also, there's just a lot of weird stuff. I mean, there was some cool battles and stuff, and like you had to see Old Mate for the first time in several years. You know, it's been 4 years, but he's still doing the same job. Out on the Outer Rim. Lucky you could remember that one time that he caught up with.
He's like, that one guy I met years ago.
Yeah.
For an unspecified amount of years.
Yes. Yeah, I think, it was cool, it's fun to see Swamp Thing come back. And then they've got, I guess they are sort of setting up where we're hopefully going for the rest of the season, which is the return of Moff Gideon and, the attempt to bring Mandalore together. Yeah. There's potential there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fun episode, but like everyone, there's just such random stuff in this show sometimes. Like when they get into the big saving the planet scene, whatever you want to call it, planet in quotation marks. They're like, Greef Karga's like, you saved the whole planet. It's a fucking small town, but yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. When they get into that, amongst all of that, they randomly at some stage they cut away to a 2.5 second shot of a Mandalorian riding a ship to the ground, and then just cut back. Like, where'd that guy come from? It's like so that's just like stuff in this show where someone goes, it looks fucking cool. Yeah, but who is that guy? Like, that's random. Looks fucking cool. Like, yeah. I mean, you're right. It does look cool, but random. So, I thought it was a fun episode that hopefully gets things moving in an interesting direction for the rest of it. And the whole, like, the action piece of this episode was fun. And I enjoy the pirates. I like how the pirates have seemingly just picked up one of every species.
This is where all the aliens have been this entire time.
Yep.
They're all pirates.
Yeah. Can't
join the Empire, so they're pirates.
Makes sense. And they're using a hammerhead ship, which of course you would have seen in Rogue One. They crash it into the big ship to drive it into the barricade over Scarif. So that's cool to see as a pirate ship deployed that way, which was really cool. Yeah. Cannot go past the one moment and one bit of fan service that did work for me this episode, though. Do you know what this is, Ash? Have you seen this?
No.
No, so you wouldn't have. See,
I'm sure when you say it, I'll go, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I heard the voice before I saw the face, and as a true fan, I knew straight away there was a little cameo coming up. At the very start of this episode, when we have Captain Carson Tiva, however you say his name, in his little bar or restaurant or whatever at the New Republic school, he talks to someone, and that character is Zeb of the show Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did remember seeing, it's like weird that he's one of that species. That's cool that they've added this into the show. But no, it's actually Zeb.
It's actually Zeb, yeah. So, because I'm sitting there going, that's fucking Zeb. And I'll wait for it. So then I did the whole, when it gets to the end of the episode, I was like, I need 100% confirmation, but I can't wait for the internet to tell me. I need now confirmation now. And I did how Disney does that whole stupid thing where when it gets out of the main credits with the things, and you have to like click back into it.
Just let us set the settings, all right?
Yeah, it's so annoying. So it does that whole thing. I'm like, no, like click back into it, and then you do like you're sitting there staring. Pause. Steve Blum, Zeb. Yep. All right, now we're good. Yeah. So, yeah, 100% Zeb's first live action appearance. In quotation marks, but yeah, appearance in this, which was cool to see. So, I mean, considering
setting up his appearance in Ahsoka,
yeah, I mean, Ahsoka's going to feature, I'm pretty sure, every remaining Star Wars Rebels person who's alive. Rest in peace, Kanan. So that'll be good. So, but yeah, that was a little bit of a fun little Easter egg at the start for Rebels fans. But yeah, getting into the rest of the episodes, so the way things start, having Captain Carson back, that's fun. Like, it's a fun little character to hang around for a couple minutes. Although the second he heads out to the New Republic, and tries to get permission to do this rescue mission, I know it's the point. It's still frustrating that you're like, man, the New Republic are dumb. Which is the point. I think the point is obviously, hey, for anyone who questioned watching the sequel, the sequel trilogy, how the fuck did Palpatine and Kylo and all these people manage to, like make such a big group within like First Order, and like how did they gather all this in the outskirts of the galaxy without ever being noticed? Yeah, I think the answer is obvious. The New Republic is fucking useless. I think that's the point. Like,
they're like any power. They're like super focused on the city and don't really care about anybody in the country, I guess, or the small regional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
most people are in the city, or the central Coruscant or whatever. So they're the people they care about the most. Fuck everybody else.
Pretty much. I mean, so yeah. If this series is setting out to do a couple things, and one of those things is explain just sort of how dumb the New Republic is and how what they did happened because they're sort of dumb, then insert this as an example of why. At the same time, I will say also, as much as I enjoyed the pirates, I also think the pirates suck as pirates. So I think the New Republic sucks as a republic, and that's shown in this episode. I also think it shows that these pirates suck because they get fucked up. Like, that's the other thing. I was like, you really come in with one ship, think you're going to own this planet forever, and no one's ever going to come in. Like, you literally get messed up. So, I don't know. Also, what did you make of that little snitch, Elia Kane, or whatever her name is, with her coming into the room and having to suck ass there when Carson's visiting the lieutenant?
I mean, it's interesting because obviously we definitely got the impression that like she's working for somebody or doing something else. I don't think she's definitely got her own motives. So that's quite interesting. Again, this feels like a story thread that if the Rangers of the New Republic show had gone ahead, or this is a thread they pulled from that show and put in this, or that this was meant to be here, and then like 6 episodes of The Mandalorian would have showed up in that show. So,
well, it is interesting because I think it was Filoni or someone said in the interview last week that big crossover event they were planning is still going to happen. So, because when they announced it all, they were like, here's all the shows we're going to do, and they're all going to culminate in this massive Disney Plus Star Wars like crossover event or whatever. So
so they need to put all those stories somewhere.
Yeah, they're like, let's put
fucking
an episode
Gina Carano, fucking everything.
Fucking just, all you had to do is not be transphobic. Was it that hard? Apparently, yes. For a lot of people. A lot of people. It's unfortunately proven, so when we get down to the flick across to the Mando stuff, I did find it very funny how Carson finds them and then straight away is like, you got a fucking snitch in here. And then everyone looks around like they can't see each other anyway because they're in these stupid helmets. And then it proves to be that piece of shit R5. Little sneaky fucker.
Talk about lucky, huh?
Lucky for some. This, I gotta be honest, I think one of my favorite scenes this whole season so far is what actually happens here before they leave for the rescue. Because it just baited and switched me out so hard that I gotta respect it, which is the whole this Greef Karga motherfucker. He tried to kill us. I'm like listening to this speech going, Mando, you're about to head into Bo-Katan. You're on your own. Like, I don't know how you expected this fully. But guess what? We're Mandalorians. That means we're fucking
Mandalorians,
motherfucker. Yeah. I was like, all right, you got me, because I fully wasn't expecting that. But that also helps last week's episode make a bit more sense with the saving the kid, so he gets respect a bit more and all this sort of stuff and whatever else. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I quite like that. My biggest question though is, well, firstly, thank fuck they're finally leaving this devil planet they've been staying on where everything tries to kill them.
Thank God. Thank God someone found us. So
it really is. It's a huge blessing in disguise, I think. But the second thing is, did they or did they not take those chicken things with them? If they did, where?
You know, maybe on one of the other ships we didn't see.
They have one ship. Mando flew in. Bo-Katan flew in.
Well, did you see all the little kids come with them as well?
No, so I guess they got to go back.
No, so there's like a bunch of people still there.
No, so they got to go
just in
back
case
to
things went pear-shaped.
Next episode, they turn up back on that planet. All the kids are dead. Fucking
eaten by a crocodile.
Eaten by the crocodile. That's what you get for leaving them alone. Gonna take this. Greef Karga is going to turn up next episode and be like, "You've brought a type of wildlife into this planet that isn't meant to be.
Ruin the ecosystem.
You've ruined my ecosystem." Yeah, that's really, why would you do that?
It's fine. It's a massive planet, you know.
Yeah, and they got a small city, so yeah, it makes sense. I really enjoyed the whole action scene though, I guess, which was the majority. Did you like the whole, Mando flying in, drawing them all out? Like I thought it was a fun action scene. Yeah, I thought it was a fun action scene.
Again, showcasing a super fast ship. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
showcasing.
It does a good job of showcasing it. Like it definitely looks strong. It looked like it could outpace most ships, just in from a pure perspective of speed and maneuverability, which I guess is the point. But yeah, I really enjoyed this whole thing. I like how old mate comes down and fucks him up with his Gatling gun, and the armorer just doesn't use guns, I guess, or whatever.
Hammers only.
It's like, everyone else is playing normal mode, and
like Thor.
She's over there just playing Call of Duty with hammers only mode on. Good bit though. Then we get at the end of this episode, obviously, what did you make of the armorer calls in Bo-Katan? Hey, I need to talk to you. Take your helmet off. I'm sitting there going,
what the fuck? This is trap.
This is entrapment. Yeah. Don't do it. She's going to turn around and be like, aha! You failed the test.
You need to get out of here.
Yeah, off you go. So, yeah, what did you make of this? Do you think, because the armorer is, I feel like for most people, this interesting character, but also sits on this weird line of you never really understand if she's a good guy or a bad guy.
She's kind of this weird cult leader, as people have been talking about, at least online. Like, I don't know. It was super weird that she asked Bo-Katan to take it off, and like nobody else. It's like she didn't go, oh, from now on, you're allowed to take your helmets off. It's like, no, you do it. And then if I change my mind about you, at least we'll all be safe in the way, doing the way things they're meant to be doing.
Yeah, I thought it was,
Really, she's not. She's putting all the onus on Bo-Katan and putting no skin in the game,
yeah. I mean, literally
taking no risk.
it's very interesting though. I definitely feel like the armor is someone who's like in it for her people. I don't doubt that, but whether or not she's got the good of Bo-Katan in her mind or anyone else,
yeah,
I'm doubtful of that. I don't doubt that she's trying to look after her group of Mandalorians, but yeah. So she sends her off. I mean, there was a second there I was like, she's just going to walk Bo-Katan out and go fight this motherfucker right now for the Darksaber, but that didn't happen anyway. This could see that still happening, to be honest, but she says, you're going to go on this little trip, Bo-Katan. You're going to go around. It's time to finally reunite all the Mandalorians. We're going to take back Mandalore, which I do feel like it was a huge jump because it's sort of the way it plays out is in a way of her going, the Armorer having just watched them save this planet and then going, oh shit. She could, you could kind of lead a team. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize.
It's very much a stretch.
Yeah. It was like
so
after
why
one
now
mission.
are you deciding? Yeah. Why not when they talked about going to actually Mandalore?
Yeah. It's just like,
I mean,
seems.
I'm sure, she told you about the Mythosaur thing 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And now she's suddenly like, now she's just like overnight. Well, you know that thing you said that I completely brushed off?
Kind of no sold?
Yeah. Now I'm all in.
It was a big deal. Massive.
So that was a bit weird, I thought. But
yeah.
Did you take it in a way that Mando's going to go with her, or is she just being sent off on her own, or what do you think is going to happen there?
I don't know.
Because
I feel like Mando will go around and help, but
yeah. Because I feel like if she goes off, what's Mando doing? Like,
farming, sheriffing.
Yeah. If he's not, the show does not have Din in it anymore. He's just chilling, fun. And then obviously we get the final scene of the episode, which is Captain Carson finding this ship in hyperspace, or in the middle of space, sorry, coming out of hyperspace and finding the ship in space, floating there. It's been shut down, destroyed, sort of ripped apart from the side. For a hot second, I was like, only because Zeb had been early in the episode, I was like, are you trying to imply this is the ship Ezra and Thrawn were on? And then that was not the case. But I think it was just solely because that Zeb was on my mind.
Wow.
Anyway, I was like, this seems random, but whatever. Then the reveal is that it was the prison ship that Moff Gideon was supposed to be on. That he was being transported on. Someone got in, took Gideon. His body's not on there, but a bunch of bodies are. And there's some Beskar that's been implanted within the ship. So there's multiple ways you can take this. So you tell me which one you think you're leaning towards. You've got option A. It's another group of Mandalorians. No, sorry. It's our group of Mandalorians who just decided to kill him, and they're keeping it secret. Option B. It's another group of Mandalorians who are just out for their own or working with the First Order or some shit like that. Or option C, it's a group of non-Mandalorians being framed. What do you reckon?
I think it's option D.
Yeah.
So I think it is a group of Mandalorians who believe that Moff Gideon is still the rightful holder of the Darksaber and thus the ruler of Mandalore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you watch the previously on the other side of the episode?
No, I skip all that shit. So
they specifically highlighted Jin being asked, "Oh, did you kill Moff Gideon?" He said, "No, I left him alive."
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can get behind that. I think that's probably the most likely theory and thing that would make sense, especially given the way that helps sort of all the storylines help converge going forth, where Bo-Katan, fucking.
It's a way for Bo-Katan to get the Darksaber without fighting Jin.
Yeah. So she has to head out. She's going to bump into this group, eventually bumps into Moff Gideon. If they have her kill Moff Gideon, and then she finally, she's like, yes, that makes sense. I'm now the rightful owner. And then Jin just gets to go, yeah, cool. Well, I tried to give it to you once before. Here you go. Like, will you take it this time? Because I don't really want it. Here you go. Like, yeah,
it's like that. The wand in that other property.
Yes, correct. But yeah, I think that's a good out for the whole not having to have those two fight, because I don't really want them to have to fight. Because again, I've said a few episodes ago, I don't want the season to be set up in a way where I've got to, these two are suddenly on different sides and having to fight each other. I want them to work together. So having Moff Gideon somehow survive, like every character in Star Wars, somehow they survive, and then be killed by her would make sense. We'll get into it. But yeah. Anything else from this week's episode that I missed? Like, not really.
No,
anything.
Tim Meadows. Interesting that he's the Colonel dude. Again, yeah.
Why?
I mean, Tim Meadows is a known comedian, just in a lot of stuff. So, yeah. I mean, it was cool. Again, it felt like another show kind of forced itself into the Mandalorian.
Yeah. They love forcing shows into
which is what the Star Wars universe is about,
Yeah.
Stick a bunch of Bad Batch episodes and your Clone Wars, switch a bunch of Rebel stuff and everything else, yeah.
Yep. That's how I love my Star Wars. It's like some Wheat Bix where every now and then you get some Fruit Loops.
I don't think anybody's accidentally put Fruit Loops in the Wheat Bix.
All right, thank you for joining us on the Mandalorians. You can, of course, find this show on explosionnetwork.com, youtube.com/Explosion Network, and all good podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can find all our other Star Wars shows on the Holocron Entries podcast feed, including the very Bad Batch, which just wrapped up. You can catch me and Ash's thoughts on the season finale, or the season finale two-parter episodes, on the podcast feed as well, by the time you're listening to this. Follow our Twitters, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, and check out explosionnetwork.com/Discord to come talk to us about anything over there, including Star Wars. Until next week, we have spoken.